Happy Thursday, everybody. Wow, it's Thursday. It's been like a week since I've last been here. What the heck, man? That's bizarre. Wow. Tonight, more 999. It'll be good. It'll be fun. It'll be great. We are, for those of you who need a recap, last episode we went through the number 4 door, and we did a bunch of puzzles, learned about some cool pseudoscience, and now we are meeting up with everyone in the infirmary to find out, oh crap, where the hell's Snake? But where is he? We honestly don't know. I have a canker sore in my lower lip, so this will be extra fun tonight. Yeah. And, yes. Snake's not in chat. Hello, Captain Rex. Welcome to everything. Snake is in chat. Wolf is nowhere to be found. Luke is in the chat. Life is good. Life is fine. Life is great. Anyway, couple things right now. Will not be here tonight, so I will be covering for Santa. And Elena may or may not be here. We're still unsure, so in the meantime, we'll have people cover for Lotus as needed as well. So, with that in mind, I'm going to start undeafening soon. You got back 2 of your assessment marks today. Nice. How did they go? I think they are pretty good. All my viewers are super smart. Let's go! Thank you, Dragon Drop It, for the sub. Let's go. 3 months, 2 months streak. Let's fucking go. Thank you so much for the sub, Travis. You know I love you. Alright, here we go. Undeafening in 5, 4, 3. Oh, Travis gets to see more of my legs. Yeah, that's a sub perk, by the way. Anyway, here we go.
The jerk.
Hello. We're live.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back, everyone. I need to share my screen with you all.
Yay!
Yes, you
No,
do.
we could ad lib.
Yeah,
I
it's
hope
okay.
I have lines and am not dead.
Yeah.
I wonder. That might be a problem. Let's find out. Let's look for Snake, shall we? All right, so just gotta check. Little DM Coolio. Okay. So, how's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Good.
It's going.
All right, cool, great. Now that we got that out of the way, now that I've like dealt with the pleasantries and everything, where should we go?
That's exactly what I thought you were gonna say. I was like, now that I've talked to the cast and made sure they're cool, I
Yeah, like
guess.
now that I've sort of, acknowledged their existence.
Now that I know that they are alive.
Well, maybe not Snake.
Not necessarily well.
Yeah, now that I've acknowledged that, they're exposed to everyone else in the chat and everything, we're good to go.
No
It's-
backing
it's
out
okay.
now, you cowards.
We're safe tonight. My boyfriend's at work, so he won't be getting tilted.
Oh,
by
it's okay, Mina. I already have the audio clip saved from
I
that
think
night.
everybody does. I sent it to him. He thought it was hilarious.
Oh
Wait, what
no,
was
I don't
it?
know. No, not just the video clip, Mina. I mean specifically the how long is it? Oh, 2 seconds of audio where he talks.
Oh my god.
And it will become a sound clip for Voltage's stream.
I'm
Please
working
do
on
not
it.
do that.
No, I'm kidding, he won't.
No, see, when I'm cool and popular and make an inevitable soundboard, that will be maybe an addition. I don't know.
Don't do that.
You better
Don't
you
do
better
that.
if you do that though, you better use my fuck.
I'll pay you money not to do that.
All right,
Just
cool. Let's do it.
DM me.
All right,
You
cool.
better not use my F, says Seth. Okay.
Anyway, where should we go?
What?
Of the 4 options, where should we go?
I don't care.
Oh, the casino! That's like my whole thing.
Ah, okay. You want to go to the casino? Let's go to the
I want
casino.
to go to the casino. I don't know
Oh,
why
we're going
we
to go
are there,
gambling.
but we are going. I'm going to plug in my good microphone.
Probably
I
for
just
the
want
best
to
because
see.
Lotus is up here.
Oh, thank God. Oh wait, what?
How about the casino on B deck? I can read.
Nice.
Good job, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Wait,
They
you actually
took-
understood what I said?
They took off up the stairs at a run. Somehow June had understood what Junpei had mumbled to himself. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus, she was leaning against the wall, examining her nails.
I'm plugging in her microphone.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
I'm looking at my nails.
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake. Whoa, wait, what? Snake is a character in here? How did he get from the real world to 99?
Here.
Oh my.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
Junpei didn't think that was the problem.
Based Lotus.
Oh, by the way,
One sec.
I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it? And by two, I mean the number 2.
Yeah. No, that was Snake's bracelet number. Do we want to hear it or refuse and leave?
I mean,
Fuck
they're
'em.
already here.
I'm gonna listen to her.
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
You little slut.
Based Junpei.
Based Junpei.
Based in Junpei pilled.
Yeah.
Alright.
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1.
5 plus 6 plus 8 is 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. And 1 plus 0 is 1.
But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person. Duh.
Huh?
No, she said duh.
Who?
Duh. What? Isn't that easy? 7.
She was right. If they added 7. 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8, I said it wrong, but who gives a shit, is 26. 2 plus 6 is 8. Then the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door. But...
Whoa, hold on a sec. What about the other 4?
I hope someone clips that mathematical genius brought to us.
That mathematical Dr. Susan.
Yeah.
Look, I got a math degree. I can do this kind of thing.
Why don't you add them up?
That was simple enough. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1.
The digital root of those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't the big hospital room, right? Isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No, are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Okay, I believe you.
Bullshit.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you'd do anything of the sort.
Is Lotus like really sneaky?
I guess so.
I guess she is
Okay,
now.
well, I don't know, because I came in kind of late, so
Yeah,
sorry, Elena,
Lotus,
making your
Lotus
character
is
sneaky.
Well,
Interesting.
she's nuanced, right? Because she's obviously like kind of.
Gotcha.
She's kind of like obviously self-preservation, but she doesn't mean bad.
Yeah, no, nuance, that's the word I needed, thank you.
Yeah.
Really? Why do you think that?
What is it?
Why do you think I'm sneaky?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left.
Oh, shoot.
Hang on, sorry, just responding to a DM.
Also,
okay, let me hang up really quick, put my mic in, and then come right back.
okay.
Yeah.
We need more people for like future doors too, because what if we can't make it through those?
I wonder what.
Wow,
that
it sounds like you just hit the plot of this fucking game.
Yeah. See,
I mean, it makes
I wonder-
sense. Why don't they think of that? Like,
Yeah.
oh, if only us 3 go through or us 4 go through, maybe we won't make it past the next door. Let's get as many people as we can alive through.
can you even
It's-
make?
it's-
You can't even
They
make
limit-
9.
they
They
only
limit
need
you
a
at 5.
Yeah, we need 9 at the end. So
Okay. Does my mic sound better?
Yes,
Yep.
it sounds great. No, wait,
Okay.
you can make 9 from 5, 6, 7, and 8. Think about it.
Wait, what?
Plus, you only need their bracelets, technically.
Yeah, but you know, just think about it. Out of the numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8, you only need 3 to make 9.
All right, Chad, whoever can make 9 with those 4 numbers, Voltage will show a picture of his leg.
Oh my god. I
I'll
don't think
DM
he's
it to
allowed
you.
do that.
I'll DM it to you, obviously.
Yep. Yep, whoever can figure out the math fast enough.
I mean, it's not that hard. 5, 6, 7.
You're not.
Oh,
the
he
hero, Cry.
wins!
Oh
All right, Cry gets a picture of Voltage.
No, I'm good. Just give it to anybody else.
my goodness.
Literally anyone else.
Anyway.
How do 5, 6, and 7 make 9?
Listen.
It doesn't make any sense.
Even if we manage to escape,
Take a minute.
there's
You
no
said I
way
ate
we
9.
could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No. You're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It's like I just said that before.
But an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The digital route for us 4 will be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
Right. Unless we bring Ace 2, we'll be stuck.
Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said, nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? You do know that only 5 people at most can go through one of the numbered doors. And also, I need to do my diction warm-ups, right?
Right?
The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
You're right. That is true.
The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine. It was true. How Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him. When they found the number 9, they would have to choose which 3 of them would die. Lotus's forehead furrowed.
Do you think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about. ...
Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus. Talking to her had left them feeling ill. Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get them nowhere. So, he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
Let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yeah, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Junpei nodded.
All right, where should we go next?
We should go to either the first class cabin or the large hospital room. Save the hallway for when Giggles gets back.
Oh, okay.
Where should we go, gang?
A hospital room? I don't know.
Hospital
Back.
room it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, why don't we go back to the big hospital room?
Sure. Let's go.
They took off at a run down the stairs. On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door. Junpei paused. What should Junpei do?
Walk away. Walk away.
Because he's not here.
Yep. Walk away.
I'm
He's probably
covering-
still gonna talk to
I'm
us,
covering
honestly.
for Will tonight.
Yay!
Walk away.
Junpei and June walked up to Santa.
I love Santa.
What are you doing?
What, can't you tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
I mean, fair enough. Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but
Who do you think did it? Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us? Who fixed it?
I think someone other than the 8.
Okay.
I think.
I'm just going with the
Me?
first one people suggest half the time.
Okay. Maybe there's someone else on this ship with us.
You mean someone hiding here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just an idea.
And you're saying this mystery person fixed the Reds?
Yeah.
Why?
That's, I don't know.
Santa shoved his hands into his pockets and cracked his knuckles. Seems unlikely.
Why?
I don't know. Just a feeling. Hard to believe Zero would bring a secret 10th player. I mean, the name of the game is the Nonary game, for Christ's sakes. You know what Nonary means, right? Means 9.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean, more like someone who's been living here for a long time. Or someone who, like, stayed here.
Seriously? That's even more ridiculous. Why do you think Zero would leave them alone? Junpei furrowed his brow.
So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red?
Santa grinned. Bingo. We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know they fixed the red.
Yeah,
But why?
no idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
It's not out of the question. Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet. Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You've got to be careful. The person you trust most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
June?
With that depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away.
Okay, but what if Zero did it? Like, he could have gone in and put it in.
Ta-ta, fuckers! Junpei and June looked at one another and walked and smiled awkwardly. Where would they go next? Probably to, let's go to the first class cabin.
Yeah. Why don't we go check out the first class cabin?
All right. Let's go.
Just what I like in a woman.
Oh.
They-
Oh.
They quickened their pace and headed for B-Deck.
I mean, she's just like following me along.
Oh shit, I was wrong.
Yeah, dumbass.
I thought that this was the other one. Ah,
Nope.
jeez. Hey, Giggles.
It's okay.
Oh, she's back. Okay, good.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
back.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Outside of the first class cabin, they found Clover. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point on the wall, her eyes blank. What should Junpei do?
Why is nobody looking
Leave
for
her alone.
Snake? Hello?
Fuck off, Seth.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
No.
No, I know.
Are you alright?
He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but,
He can think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow or fake. And fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to.
Alone.
Her voice was thin and barely audible.
wow, great job.
Alone.
Hmm?
Alone. Huh? I said leave me alone!
Suddenly, she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else. Stop bothering me!
Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with the surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Fine. Forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
Alright. Let's go, June.
Yeah.
All right, good conversation.
Wow, so leaving her alone was the correct answer?
Well, you were right for
Wow.
once, Seth.
Oh
They-
wait, is it like a multiple choice in that way? Like there's not one clear
You know,
way to
I
do it?
don't know if there's a right and wrong bit to this part.
Yeah.
No, but
any-
it's like it's always gray, right? Is this that kind of game?
yeah, I think, yeah.
Ooh. It's like Eve.
Yeah. They turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed will get him nowhere but depressed. For Clover's sake, they had to find Snake, and fast. He did his best to push away the misery and depression, and forced a smile.
So, where do you think we should go next?
The hallway with all the rooms.
Yes. Hey, why don't we go back to C deck since you're not giving me any choices here? We can take a look at the hallway with all the rooms. And I'm sure you're gonna agree with me, right?
Yeah, you're right. Let's get going then.
It's like
asshole.
Junpei has someone controlling him from another world.
Yeah.
Together, they
Okay,
ran down
let's
the
get going
stairs.
then.
Oops.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I should be apologizing. I stepped on your lines.
How dare you? I said my line twice.
Yeah.
You should know when I'm being confused.
I wasn't paying attention, Mina. I never do. Ahead of them, farther down the hallway, they spotted Ace.
Oh,
Oh my god, I have lines?
Oh!
Hey! Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there.
Junpei paused. What did he want to do? Run to Ace?
let Ace handle it.
Fuck you guys.
Let Ace handle it.
With June in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace.
At least he's like the only one actually searching.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right?
Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet either?
Junpei nodded. Oh shit, sorry.
I really wonder where he could have run off to.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can, for Clover's sake.
Right.
Oh, stop blushing at me.
Yeah, why is she blushing?
June's
'Cause you're such
face
a
looked kind of
beefcake.
enraptured.
I know I am, but like,
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
They could be adopted.
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? The question seemed somehow odd to Junpei.
It is kind of odd, honestly. Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Ace looked at him for a moment, and then spoke.
Well, that's pretty based. Yes, you know. Now that you mention it, they don't.
That's pretty basic.
Now that you mention it.
Why are you just copying what I say out loud, okay? It's kind of rude, but still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. Certainly isn't rare.
Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke.
Yeah, it's how you move your face. At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. Holy shit, time out. Look at Ace's eyes.
Yeah,
Why do they look so weird?
because there's no dark on the right side. Like,
Yeah,
the
it
dark
just-
lines aren't there at that one part near his eye.
Oh
Yeah.
god, I see it now. His face
Like
is
they-
jutting out. Right
Yeah.
there.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
like
viewers.
One eye, like his left eye on our view, his left eye looks like it's just fucking spaced out.
Yeah. Oh my god. I can't unsee
Sorry,
it now.
I have a lazy eye, but the clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? Sorry, lazy eye again. You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jumpy.
At June's urging, they left.
Hey, you can call me anytime. Oh, yeah.
They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil. There was so much to think about, but no, it would have to be put aside for now. As Ace had said, finding Snake was their top priority.
Hell yeah, it was.
Junpei did his best to clear his mind. Alright, where should we go next, he thought? We've covered everywhere.
Finish searching.
Good idea.
Why don't we go back to the big hospital room?
Okay. Let's go then.
They turned and headed back towards the large hospital. I did it again! I said towards instead of toward. I need to stop doing that. They turned and headed back toward the large hospital room.
Toward?
There was no one to be seen. What next? Let's finish searching.
Yay.
They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found. Sorry, Alex.
Ah, damn it! I don't get any more lines.
That's not true.
Well, I didn't either.
You'll get lines. You'll all get lines.
No.
Yeah, in like 3 more streams. No, I'm kidding.
Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
We can't keep looking for Snake. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point to wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke.
Oh, I do have lines. We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes. I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Oh my gosh.
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit harsh of a word, but yes. Bye, Mom. I love you.
Love you too.
Oh,
shoot.
bye, Mom.
Sacrifice, Mom.
Bye, Lotus's mom.
Human sacrifice, Mom. I love you.
We'll sacrifice Lotus's mom. It'll be fine.
R.I.P. Mom.
Rip.
You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors.
Those doors, as she gestured to the doors.
Those, I forgot the word for them for a second.
Those apparatuses that allow you to travel between rooms.
These shaped holes in the wall. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind.
Perks of having a small text screen.
Voltage, don't let that happen to me again.
What? Don't let it happen again.
Don't let that happen. I'm looking at you.
Okay, I won't. I promise. Wink to the
I don't
chatters.
like
I'm gonna do it again.
I don't like this. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Thank you, Volty.
Leaving 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. What was she, gang? Was she not sure, or was she right?
That. Hold on.
Wait, I don't-
do math.
yeah,
in my
I
head.
don't-
Hold on.
Can you do
So we
math in
currently
your
have
head?
7. We have 7 people because Snake's missing, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, we have 7 people. So that would be a team of 4 and a team of 3. How is that leaving 1 person behind?
It's
Maybe
not.
because it doesn't add up? I don't know.
So then that would mean that you'd have to have 2 teams where it's a team of 3 and a team of 3. Right?
I don't know.
Like what are the door options on this floor, Voltage? Because I wasn't here last
There
stream,
are
so I don't know what doors.
3, 7, and 8.
3, 7, and 8.
Wait, is the
Okay.
idea that you're supposed to add their numbers together and have it be divisible by the door's number?
Not divisible, but have a
it's
digital
like
root
a
of the number.
digital root.
You'll see.
Oh,
You'll
okay.
see. You'll see. You need 3 people to go through the door. So, what can you do, right? You could do like 3, 6, and a 4 and a 5, and then you'd have 7 and 8.
I think that the sacrifice she means is they're leaving Snake behind because they can't find him.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, because 4 plus 3 is 7, and there's 8 of them, but Snake's missing. So there's only 7. The guy who was 9 or whatever is dead because he was an asshole.
Oh, really? Oh.
He
So
just
the sac-
didn't know better.
So should we
So
say
the
not
sacri-
sure, or
so-
she was right?
The sacrifice would be leaving Snake behind.
I'm
and
not
continuing on
sure.
Without him.
Yeah, I would
Junpei
say
wasn't
not sure.
quite sure that was true.
Wait a minute.
Hmm?
2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2. And 1 person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people. But if we split into 4
Thank
and 3,
you.
then why do 3 people have to be left behind?
Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7 with 1456.
1456.
Whatever. 1456. Who's left over?
370.
That would be 378.
I was right.
What's the digital root for that?
3
9.
plus 7 plus 8 is 18. So, oh shit, sorry, I'm dumb.
That's okay. So add 1 and 8, 9.
Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 378 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time.
How has she already done this?
Because she was standing there doing it in her head.
I guess.
She was
She
looking
wasn't
at her
looking for
nails, not looking for Snake.
Hmm.
That's how she was counting. She used her fingers.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how it is.
Did you know you can count to 12 on one hand? And
You
not
can?
using binary counting, because fuck you, binary counting is...
No, 3, 4, 5.
Wait, you can count to any number on your hand.
Hold on a second. They have 3, 4, and 5 there, right?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can, yeah, any number.
3, 4, 5. That's a digital root of 3. They have a 3 there.
They do.
And then
But what's
then
what's
there's
left over? 1, 5,
1,
6, and
6.
7.
1, 6, 7, 8.
But
1,
8
6.
is missing.
Well, now, if we can get back to my proposal, we only have to sacrifice one person if we split into 3, 3, and 1.
When Seven spoke, his voice was strained.
Then you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then one person has to sacrifice themselves.
No, that's too cruel.
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone.
I told you that's impossible. Wake up!
Whoa, whoa, calm down, you two. Santa stepped between them, between Lotus and June. Look, what Lotus is trying to say is that you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right? See, I do it to myself.
I don't feel alone anymore. Exactly. That's how democracy
You
works.
bet your ass.
Hell yes.
Snake,
reason,
hedonism
I
is where
think
you
the
chase
only
good
fair-
things.
I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think?
Well, I've got a hidden
Oh,
immunity idol,
gosh.
so I'm fine.
That's terrible.
I got a hidden immunity out. Fuck you, nerds.
I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she'd ever heard Lotus's proposal. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder.
Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
Clover slowly lifted her face.
Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice one person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right?
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
Lotus spun and walked towards Junpei. Fuck, I did it again!
Oh my gosh.
Now, let's start a vote to...
That won't be necessary.
You found him?
Yeah, it was in
I
his trench
found
coat.
Snake. He was in my trench coat.
God.
Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and then everyone jumped a little. Ugh. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice or even care.
I will stay. As the boomer of the group, I'm responsible for most of these problems, so that should solve our problem. yeah?
Huh? Exclamation point!
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June's voice shook. Good job, Mena. And she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
June, I'm afraid. Oh, sorry, my lazy eye. I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself
True.
for our love. Oh,
Huh?
Junpei was
I
confused.
trust you. Oh,
No, you're
sorry.
good. No,
What?
no, I was just ad-libbing.
oh, okay. I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Wow.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors go only one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them,
You won't be able to return, correct?
yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you, once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
Oh my god, I can't believe my tweet didn't go out. Ah, this is embarrassing.
Oh no. Oh no, voltage.
No, that's ridiculous. Your tweet didn't go out?
I know, I'm conducting it now, okay?
That can't be. It shouldn't be like that. It can't end up like this.
There's no way we could get back in time because the tweet hasn't gone out yet.
The tweet hasn't gone out yet.
The tweet is going out! https://twitch.tv/voltage12O is in the letter 2.
O is in the letter 2.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, O is in the letter 2.
True.
I'm not wrong. I just said it weird.
Yeah.
Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer. He had to tweet.
We've only got 5 hours left.
You have 5 hours to send that tweet.
We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me. Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind.
Ace's voice was dignified, without a hint of cruelty or malice.
Man, I kind of thought we had a thing going on, asshole.
Junpei had no rebuttal.
You see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly!
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lip so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin.
I already
Sexy.
did. Ouch.
Santa stood against a wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others.
That's right, I'm not like other girls. Good. Let's accept his kind offer then.
She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. Perhaps it's my age, but I get tired so easily these days, you know,
That's
being a
us.
boomer and all.
As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds.
Oh my gosh, the next time we see him, he'll probably be dead.
From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was
What the
almost
heck?
as if Adam were screaming. Would it really hold until the time limit was up? Already D-Deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of Adam. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa?
I have to find my brother.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy?
No, June, this is not an
Say
anime.
something!
Oh, I mean, yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
There wasn't another way. His words sounded hollow and fake.
Oops.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran toward Ace. See, I
Oh,
did
no.
it that time. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. He
Oh,
fell
shit.
over. Ace fell
my gosh.
forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened, Ace? Say something.
She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
Ugh, I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
Oh, sorry.
Not
I'm
unlike Seth
all
most
right.
days. I'm just-
How are you? Fine.
Yes.
Oh my fucking god. He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand. He's got drugs. In it was a syringe and a small vial.
I see.
The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the sides. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Soparil Beta. Soparil Beta? Junpei had no idea what it meant, or what kind of medicine it might be.
Did you use this?
Yes. Yes, good. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found her. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, in the hospital. I thought it might be used later. I didn't think of using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Can I tell you? I like to take a nap. Literally. I really am very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and Jun's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace.
Is there something you want to say or do? I just like to sleep a little. Can you give it down?
Old man wants to take a nap.
No! Don't, Ace. Don't fall asleep.
Goodbye, baby. You feel warm. So comfortable.
Oh God, no! There
I
has to
think
do
I'll
it.
have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying.
Oh no. Ace! Ace!
She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond.
Well, it was fun being in this cast for the only time I had left. It was great playing this game with you guys. I hope you guys good luck. Deuces.
See ya.
I'm glad I
Bye.
got you.
Out of here. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. A super cool character. Sad he had to go out by anesthetics, but hey, wouldn't want it any other ways.
Wait, are you for real leaving?
Yeah, I have to go to bed.
Only the gentle rising
Bye.
and falling of his chest told him he was alive, but Seth was going
Ah,
to sleep.
damn it.
Junpei was
But
relieved
I'm
to
not
see.
alive for the rest of the scene, so it's fine.
Yeah, Junpei was relieved to see that he was, in fact, still breathing. And I'm breathing. He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste. Right?
She wasn't feeling any remorse. Junpei was sure of that. Still, he held no grounds upon which to oppose her. It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then, suddenly, Santa spoke. Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
Well, enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Good night, Captain Rex. Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Ugh! You're going to get it next time.
No, I already have the cookie.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, kind of like jet fuel, maybe. I don't know. Then turned and stalked off.
No.
All right, who's next? Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei. Junpei, which door do you want? At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. And I know it was made up by the chat, by Discord.
This is a terrible way to decide like how to go through doors because What
I mean,
if
you
it doesn't
can't
work
go
out?
I
You
disagree.
can't go through 3.
I disagree. I think it's a wonderful way to try doing this.
No, I mean like, so she chooses 8 and he chooses 7, but like, what if the numbers don't add up that they can all go through?
Oh,
We should go through 7 or 8.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this, that the remaining people are 3, 4, 5, and 6, so you can effectively split these off to be pairs of 9. So it does work, it's just these two being pain in the ass, basically. But the Discord server decided that we are going to go through door number 8. Which means, here we go.
Which means I don't have lines.
Welcome to the club.
I think I'm gonna go with door 8.
Your banter is always welcome. Okay, door 8 it is.
Yeah.
All right then. That means June's got to go through 7.
What? Why?
What?
Santa grimaced and muttered angrily to himself. Ah, stupid idiots. But finally began to explain. If the 6 of us are going to keep going without leaving anyone behind, there are only 3 ways we can do it. There are only 3 ways we can do it. Plan A, go through 7 with 3, 5, and 8, and go through 8 with 4, 6, and 7. Plan B, go through 7 with 4, 5, and 7, and go through 8 with 3, 6, and 8. Or Plan C, go through 7 with 3, 6, and 7, and go through 8 with 4, 5, and 8. And that's it. Those are our only options. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors. You get it now?
Oh, okay.
As Santa finished, June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up at the corners of her eyes.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
You're saying we aren't going to see each other again for a long time?
Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah. Probably.
Probably.
She didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 that interjected.
I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't connect, neither team can get through to door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible.
True.
He's not gonna end this game until we get through to the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, he laid his hand gently on her shoulder.
Everything is gonna be fine. Let's just have sex before we leave. We're gonna see each other
In front of
again.
everyone.
There were beds
Only-
around the entire room, so it wouldn't have been hard for Junpei and June to do.
Oh my god.
I promise.
June
Those
bit her
beds
lip.
don't look very comfortable.
and gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yeah. Promise?
Her voice was barely above a whisper.
Can you say it again?
Santa's voice shattered the moment.
Oh crap.
You guys are done, right? He stretched and continued. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 7 and Clover can take 8. Any problems with that, Clover? Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care. All right, we're ready to go then. Let's move. At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Santa, 7, and June walked toward door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei headed for door 8, which means I get to hang out with Giggles. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
No, it's funny because Clover and Lotus are both characters you're doing. If Mina's good with it and you guys want to divvy up characters just for this door, by all means.
Yeah, do you want me to do Lotus?
Sure.
Yeah, once we go through the door, it'll be good. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. Then, Lotus laid her hand against her chest and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Nice.
Are you ready?
Yeah, but could you move your hand a little?
Yes.
Then shall we go?
We're going through the door. The 8 door. Oh, it slid open this time. The
Wait,
door...
why do they think that the number 1 guy? Oh, because he can do anything because he's 1.
No. If you have 9, you can do anything. We'll explain it. I'll explain it to you later, Giggles.
Yeah.
The door had opened. A narrow hallway had stretched out before them. Lotus and Clover leapt through the door. The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in the bracelet had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them.
Oh no.
But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped.
What the?
He looked to his left, toward door 7. June stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked toward him.
You gotta get in there before the doors close, idiots, or they'll all die.
Their eyes met. They nodded. Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds. Then, someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door.
I wonder who it was.
He heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. His bracelet gave a cold electronic beep.
81 seconds left.
That's nice.
Hurry!
Lotus snapped at him and ran to the dead.
Did you see what Snake wrote? He said, making a prediction, Lotus is going to stab Junpei and then vent over to upper reactor.
Wouldn't shock me. Junpei and Clover followed her as fast as they could. Meanwhile, Mina was making a funny quip and wasting valuable time.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, that's okay though. All right, I got a notification.
Quips and waste time. Phew. It stopped.
With a shaking hand, she wiped a few beads of sweat from her forehead. Clover, however, was calm. Aloof, perhaps.
Pointless.
She muttered to herself without emotion and began to walk down the hallway, leaving behind a confused Junpei and Lotus. Lotus watched the girls receding back with a mix of frustration and curiosity.
What an unpleasant girl. I bet she's not very popular with the boys.
Her sarcasm seemed a little more biting than was perhaps necessary, but she sighed and started after the younger girl. After taking a moment to catch his breath, Junpei followed. The hallway made a number of turns before at last coming to a dead end. Set into the wall on the left side was a large iron door. For a few minutes, they stood in front of the door, examining it.
Oh, you lose.
Hang. Above the door was a plate with the word laboratory on it, engraved on it.
Keep out of my laboratory.
A laboratory, huh?
That doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place.
Me either, but there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices.
Junpei,
Yes, June, I mean Lotus, huh?
Ow.
please, you first.
Junpei suspected her politeness was motivated by something other than respect. Junpei muttered to himself and pushed open the iron door. Look, it's an iron door. His first steps inside were tentative and careful, but as he examined the room, it became clear that there was no imminent danger. Lotus followed him in, and Clover brought up the rear. Ah, yes, this escape. The room they found themselves in was divided into two separate areas by a curved wall. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see into the other side of the division. Junpei walked to the window and looked through.
What the hell?
He wasn't sure what else to say. In the center of the room, shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table.
That looks so creepy.
Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus come up next to him.
You don't think that thing is going to suddenly sit up or something, do you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know.
Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying.
She was gripping her arms, the knuckles on her hands white. It was then that Junpei noticed Clover. She was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn and somehow sad. There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her and, as kindly as he could, spoke.
Are you okay?
Clover looked away.
What are you talking about?
What? I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet.
What, I can't be quiet if I want to?
Well, I mean, of course you can. I just...
Okay, then if I can be quiet if I want. I choked on an invisible crouton. Just leave me alone, okay?
Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Clover bit her lip and the invisible crouton and was silent for a moment, then suddenly,
Junpei, you just don't get it!
her cry took Junpei by surprise, much like Voltage, and he stumbled backward a few steps, alarmed.
My brother's not the kind of person who just leave me behind. Something happened to him. Something bad.
Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her mannequin nightmares by Clover's voice, turned toward them.
What happened?
Clover's eyes slid to Lotus, then back to Junpei.
Look, just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover had begun to walk quickly away.
Hey! Wait, Clover! Hold on!
He might as well have been talking to a wall, for all the notice she took of his cries. Not even slowing down, she made for a doorway cut in the wall in front of her. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway.
Here we go.
Oh no!
Oh shoot, they got separated. Oh crap.
And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling, like a portcullis, whatever the word is, sealing Clover in.
Portcullis.
Thank you.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Clover grabbed hold of the iron bars and shook them as hard as she could.
Hang on! I'll get it open.
Junpei grabbed the bars and pulled. In a moment, Lotus joined him. The three of them pulled as hard as they could, but ellipses.
Damn it, it's not moving!
Wait! Are you just gonna give up just like that?
No, I'm not giving up! This has gotta be another one of Zero's puzzles.
If it is, then there's got to be a way to open it.
Junpei nodded.
Just what I was thinking. Now all we gotta do is find it. Lotus and I can look around out here. Clover, you're gonna have to see if you can find anything in there.
Yes, I'm on it!
Here we go, escape time! Sheik, a way out. I think I will.
I need a Mountain Dew.
It's like an escape room, but in a
I mean, I
video
can't-
game.
In a video game. Oh, shoot.
In a video.
Ah, yes, I have the thing turned on, so I have to go to my bottom screen. Hello. There we go. Now I'm on the top screen again. Alright, so we got a couple things we can look at to start. There's the bars. And the bars are this.
Junpei! Do something, please!
Like, make a save state? I'm glad you asked me to do so.
Good idea.
Good idea, Clover.
Man,
We love that.
It's been a while.
Yeah. A window made of... Oh, that's... I always forget.
A window made of really thick glass. I don't think even a bullet could break it.
Okay.
Damn, that's
A silver handrail.
More window. Oh, now we can look into the thing. Let's look at the table.
Is this like an examination table? There's a creepy mannequin in here, guys. I don't know what kind of table this is, but part of it's all black. There's a pen lying over here. Someone probably used it to make the table black.
Well, if they only used the pen on one part of it, there's probably something underneath all that pen. Clover, do you think you can erase it?
Yeah, sure. Oh, this is a permanent marker. Junpei, do you know how to erase ink from a permanent marker?
Let me tell you about it for 20 minutes.
Erase ink from a permanent marker, huh? Give me just a minute, Clover. I'll be right back.
All right. Now we go over here.
This looks like the control for an electronic door lock. There's a red light on the display. That means it's locked. If we can get that light to turn green, then maybe we can get Clover back.
This looks like the control for some kind of electric lock. The red light is on.
Then it's gotta be locked.
There's a green light just below it. Although that one isn't lit.
I bet it'll turn on if we can unlock it, right?
Yes, but how are we going to unlock it? There's no keyhole, no card reader, and no keyboard for putting in a password.
Oh, and drink water, everybody.
I have no idea.
It's been a while since I've heard to drink water.
Hey, look! There's a bunch of switches!
Nintendo Switches?
Yeah, you know the ones.
You know the one.
You know the ones.
There are 2 levers here.
You ever wake up and you
No.
look out on that
Do
lake?
you
I never
think
wake
they
up, Adam.
activate something?
They
Are you
activate the
starting?
desire to wake up one morning, look out your window.
Well, why don't you move one?
All right, I'll give it a try.
Nothing.
Nope. Doesn't look like anything's happened.
Alright, let's look at the keypad. There's a key.
This is a keyhole.
This looks like a keyhole for the activation key.
Alright, I think there's stuff.
There's a lot of stuff here.
I don't know how we could use any of these.
Well, I can say for sure that I don't know how to use at least one of these things. It was a do or
know.
don't. It moved
Do
too
know.
quickly.
Sorry. I was trying to be proactive, and in the process, I screwed up.
Which one?
The one on top. I think it's a power cable.
The power cable, huh? I'll take that.
Hey, we got a 3-pronged power cable. That's pretty neat.
This is definitely a power cable. Do you remember if we ran into anything that didn't have power?
Alright. There was some things that we could do, but like, Oh, what's
Whoa.
this? Oh, it's an ethanol.
Ethanol. I wonder if this is for antisepsis. Oh, it says anhydrous ethanol.
Anhydrous? Is that different from the regular ethanol?
Come on, that's common knowledge. Anhydrous ethanol is a powerful cleaner. It can even erase marks left by a permanent marker.
Hey, oh man, that's just what we needed. Hey, Clover, I got a thing just for ya.
Oh wow, how convenient!
Clover, use this ethanol. You should be able to wipe off that permanent ink with it.
What am I gonna wipe with?
Oh, well, your clothes, of course.
Uh.
Kidding, just kidding.
Yeah.
Please, don't look at me like that. You're scaring me.
All right, so we gotta find another thing to freaking do that. I know.
Doesn't matter what I hit it with. It might as well be made of steel.
I think there's another thing. Oh, never mind. Never mind that. Okay, so there is that. Okay, and then I think, yes, I can click that.
I wonder what this cable is connected to.
Okay, one side of this thing is in the room with us. The other side extends into the laboratory where Clover is.
In other words, the console in front of us is connected to the device in the laboratory.
All right, cool. So that means, okay, and then there's these locked ones.
A whole bunch of steel lockers. The 9 on the right all have little red lights on them. Red lights, huh? Well, can't hurt to give these babies a try. Yep, just as I thought. Locked tight, all 9 of them.
All 9?
I wonder if there's anything important in there.
Boxes.
It's a cardboard box. There are some papers and stuff in it.
What's in the box?
Some papers and stuff.
It looks like it's quite full.
What's
Full
in the
of papers and
box?
stuff. As far as I can tell, it's a bunch of notes about some kind of experiments. But
What does the box say?
it's all really technical and stuff. I don't really get it.
It says yip, 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 yip.
Oh, damn it. I was hoping you weren't gonna do that.
This is the computer. The power isn't on.
The power isn't on.
Well, there is a power button.
This is a waste of time.
Hey, Junpei, what's in the box?
What?
I don't see a power cable.
Oh my gosh, did you not remember we just got one? Oops, yeah, you're right, no power cable.
So bring it up.
This thing isn't even connected to a main computer though.
Yeah.
It's got a monitor, keyboard, mouse, but that's it.
Oh yeah, there's like nothing else there.
Just sticking the power cable in isn't going to do anything.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Hmm?
Junpei, can we get back to what we were talking about, please? This computer doesn't have a power cable.
Nope, it sure doesn't. I have no idea what we're talking about now. And?
Don't say and. It's rude. Have you already forgotten what you just picked up?
Oh my God. What I just picked up?
Oh my
Why is she so mean to me?
Let's use the power cable.
This monitor doesn't have a power cable. So one end of this cable needs to be connected to a monitor. And the other end needs to plug in under the desk. Alright, let's just slip you in. Huh? Well, shoot. I can't use this.
What's wrong?
This cable has 3 prongs, but the socket only has 2 holes. It's not gonna fit, is what I'm saying.
In other words, we're gonna need a plug to change the power cable to one with 2 prongs.
I forgot this is a
That's
thing.
right.
Ah, this is so stupid. I'm sorry, I clicked on the thing. Clover, could you be a deer and look for other things?
Hey, Clover, how are the power cables over there?
Huh? What do you mean?
Does the plug have 3 prongs or 2?
I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go look.
Guess she does have to kind of crouch down to go look under there.
Underwear. Oh, shit.
The cable on the monitor has got 2 of those little metal things. What does that mean?
That's it! Okay, can you unplug that cable and bring it over here?
Okay, but
But...
But
don't say but, it's rude. Well, I can unplug it, but it's connected to the main computer. I can't take it over to you.
Damn it. That's no good then.
Well, how about just the plug?
Why?
What?
just the plug.
The plug? Well, maybe more like a connector? It's the sort of thing that makes the plug with the 3 metal thingies into a plug with 2 metal thingies. Still useless?
Not useless. Not useless at all. That's just what we were looking for.
Okay. Can you hold on for a little bit?
And back down she goes.
This exposition's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just get on with it.
Visual
I'll hand it to
novel.
you over at the bars, okay?
Visual novel. Oh shit.
Anyway,
no,
could you wipe off that permanent ink? Look, right now at the moment, you're not the only person we can depend on. I'm trusting on you with this.
You trust me? I feel kind of special.
Oh,
Give me the
gosh.
Clover plug.
Hey, Clover. And she's just wandering around the table. I don't think she even knows we're calling her.
God damn it, Clover, give me the freaking thing. Just
Clover, can you use the cloth on the table?
Use... Huh?
Soak it in ethanol and then use it to wash off all the stuff from the permanent marker, okay?
Right, okay, so I gotta soak the cloth with ethanol.
Well, she's got the cloth, but she seems to be having a little trouble with the bottle of ethanol. When she's ready, I should ask her to get to work on that stuff on the table.
Just give me the plug!
Clover is holding the two-pronged plug, but she's still wandering around the table. I think she's forgotten about the plug.
Just give me the plug!
Soak the cloth in ethanol.
Clover!
Oh my gosh.
Junpei! It's working! It's wiping the permanent ink cloth! Huh? There's some kind of weird drawing under all the permanent ink.
What's the deal with that drawing Clover found? Maybe I should ask her to take another look at the table.
Clover, give me the plug.
I wonder what this is. There are a bunch of numbers in some kind of grid.
Ah, fuck, I gotta get my notepad out again. God,
Sudoku?
fucking dang it. Ah,
Yeah, that
jeez.
is-
Give me
I
one
fucking
second.
suck
Let
at
me get my
Sudoku.
999 pen. It's the brown one.
I can't see it from here. Clover, you've got a pen and a notebook, right?
Yes, I do.
Could you write those numbers down and then hand them to me through the bars?
Okay. Since you trust me. Roger!
Okay, cool. Give me the plug. Please.
Here, Junpei. I wrote down all the numbers from the desk on here.
Paper with numbers on it acquired.
New materials have been added to the file screen. Ah, good. Good, good, good. Let's see. Where? Oh, okay, cool. So it's 3, 4, 2, 1. Okay. It's pretty good. I see. Okay. Now we've got that. I got a text. That's not cool. Okay. Anyway. Let's look at these. Hold on. Okay, that's not what I need. Okay. Clover, give me the plug.
Here you go. The two-prong plug.
Thanks.
Thank you. Combine this with that.
Okay. Put the two-pronged plug onto the head of this power cable.
Yay, now we got a two-pronged power cable. Now let's put it into the computer.
Oh. Alright, I've got the two-pronged power cable in my hand. I'm pretty sure this will work. Under the desk I go. And let's just plug this thing into the monitor. Alright, that ought to do it.
All right, let's turn the power on.
I don't think anything's going to happen.
Why not?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer.
You never know until you try.
Pretty optimistic.
No, my brother just texted me a really fucking terrible picture. I hate him so much. Junpei pushed the button
How
on the.
terrible.
I'll share it with Discord after the stream is over tonight.
I hope it's not Wolf Job.
Nope, it's not. Junpei pushed the button in front of the monitor. With a soft hum, it turned on. Streams of letters that made no sense to Junpei began to scroll across the screen. He had hoped it would turn on, but he hadn't expected this.
Huh? It's actually working?
So it would seem.
Isn't that kinda weird?
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right? There's just this keyboard and monitor. The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in. So, why is it working?
Maybe it's a wireless display.
Clearly, this was a regional blah 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 to Lotus. Oh my god.
Wireless display?
Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly. Hence the name. Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
He most certainly had not, but
Is that normal?
Yes, at least where I worked.
I thought you were just some prostitute.
as they spoke,
She's an exotic dancer.
the lines of letters suddenly stopped and disappeared. The only thing left on the screen was the word pass, followed by a colon.
It looks like we need to enter a password.
Again? There must be a hint around here somewhere.
Could you go take a look?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Hang on.
What are you going to do?
I'll see if I can do something about this on my own.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus pulled over the nearest chair and dropped herself onto it, in front of the keyboard.
Whoa!
For a second, she stared at the
Oh
screen.
my god!
Oh, damn.
She kneaded her
Get back
hands,
to
knuckles
that.
popping, and twisted her back left, then right.
All right, let's kick some ass.
Lotus smiled to herself and rubbed her hands together in anticipation. Then, before Junpei had time to blink, she was typing at an incredible speed, the click-clack of the keys running together like machine gun fire.
What?
Junpei was, for once, at a loss for words.
Didn't expect that, did you?
Of course I didn't.
I love how, because the text box covers this up, it looks like he's astonished by her boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
You should do the you know the meme.
Booba. Booba. Neuron activation.
Where's Junpei looking?
Lotus grinned, pleased with herself. Hey, June.
Oh, that's me. Well, at any rate, those boobs, that was pretty amazing.
Chris was also distracted by Lotus's boobs.
Did you fall for me again?
Oh, whoa. Oh, what do you mean, again? I'm not into you.
I know. Don't be so stubborn, shy boy.
I'm not being stubborn. I'm not shy, and I'm not a boy. Oh, wait, I'm a young, healthy 21-year-old man.
God, I'm older than Junpei now. Shit!
I mean, I'm a young, healthy 21-year-old man. I'm not gonna fall for an old lady like you. Oh, gosh.
Suddenly, the guttural roar of a furious animal filled the room.
Oh my
Or so
gosh.
Junpei thought. Just for a moment. Lotus's hand suddenly stopped, and her shoulders stiffened.
Old lady.
Oh.
Did you just say, old lady?
Oh crap, thought Junpei. I went too far. Oh well, it was a nice life while it lasted.
I've had enough of you. Go somewhere else. You're bothering me.
What?
Go see if you can find a password hint or something. I'll try and open this from here. You're distracting me. Go. Now.
Lotus waved her hand in the universal gesture of dismissal. Junpei was clearly not wanted. Time to cut my losses, Junpei thought, and left as quietly and inoffensively as he could.
Man, he really pissed her off. Oh my god.
Junpei wandered around the room for a while, looking for anything that might help find the password for the computer. Unfortunately,
That was my favorite scene.
he found no clues whatsoever. Nothing.
Nothing.
He asked Clover if there was anything useful in the laboratory, but her answer was no. Damn, he thought. Looks like we've hit a dead end this time. But just as he was about to tell Lotus that his search had returned nothing.
All right. Bullseye! Junpei, I did it.
Excited cheering erupted from near the monitor. He hurried back to find Lotus looking rather smug. She gestured for him to look at the screen, and he did. The strange text from before was gone. In its place was something entirely different. 9 squares arranged in a 3x3 square.
What is that?
I don't have any idea. It just showed up after I cracked the password.
You think it's a puzzle?
It certainly looks like one.
As she spoke, Lotus stood up.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See the keyboard? Nothing. So there's nothing more I can do. Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
Let me take a break, all right? I did my part.
He wasn't sure what to say to that. She certainly had done her part. In fact, without Lotus, they probably would have run completely aground. I shouldn't rely on other people so much, Junpei thought to himself. From here on out, he told himself he would rely on no one else. Junpei crossed his arms and stared at the puzzle shown on the screen. Puzzle time, baby. All right.
Ooh.
All right, so let's have a look at this. Look, if I press this, it changes all the colors to the ones around it. This fourth touch is your end. Well,
1, 2, 3, 4.
I
From
know
the
how
picture?
to do. Yeah, I know how to do this. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, just like the one that Clover gave us.
Yay! All right. I solved it.
Did you hear a noise just now?
Yeah, I did. It sounded like something unlocking.
Where did it come from?
Right next to you, of course. Here we go.
Oh, they're green.
Look, Junpei. The lights on the lockers are green.
Then we must have unlocked it with the computer puzzle.
What's inside?
There's more than one key in here.
This one is small and looks like it goes to some sort of machine. And this one has the Earth symbol on it.
I think the Earth symbol matches a keyhole in a door on the A deck.
Well, if that's the case, we probably don't need the Earth key right now.
All right then, Earth key. I'll just tuck you away. Okay.
Night.
Night, Adam.
Good night.
Oh, night, Adam.
Now, as for the other key,
We got an activation key. That could be useful. Gee. It was just at that moment he heard a voice behind him. It was Clover.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
He put the puzzle aside for the moment and walked over to Clover.
what's up?
Well, never mind.
Hey, hold on a minute. What does...
Sorry. Just forget about it. It's
Oh.
nothing.
Okay. Before he could say anything else, she spun around and ran back down the stairs.
What an odd girl.
What the hell was that?
After waiting for a few minutes to see if she would return, Junpei sighed, shook his head, and went back to searching. I know what to do with this key. It goes in here. Hello, key.
This key. The shape sure makes it seem like it goes to this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Okay, the monitor is on now. And it's full of letters.
It's showing some kind of warning. Power restored to experimental device. Emergency system will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay.
I wonder what that could mean. Is there anything else in the computer? Okay.
Don't need the computer anymore.
That answers my
What
question.
the hell? What the hell's a laboratory doing on a cruise ship?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's
Hi,
a
Clover.
special cruise.
There's something sticking out of the mannequin's head, like wires or something.
What the hell were they doing in there? Huh? Why is she all quiet now?
They were doing experiments on humans. Probably.
Oh man, now she looks sad.
Junpei? This thing in here is on now.
Yeah, that's because we activated the power over on this side. Could you, like, play with it a little?
Okay. Yeah. I'll turn this dial here. Turn, turn, turn. I don't think it's working. Nothing happened.
Well, maybe she missed something. I should ask her to look around the room again.
Alright.
It's a rack. There are a bunch of cables on it. Somebody cut the outer stuff off of the cables. I can see the wires inside.
Okay.
I've got the scribblings from the... There's a mannequin lying on the exam table.
Hang on.
I can't really see it very well from here, but it looks like there are a bunch of electrodes sticking out of its head.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Let's see, let's see. Okay.
Those are the stairs I just came down. The bars in the gate are just above me.
Okay. Let's see. I forget what this stuff is here. I think.
A stand for various pieces of equipment. Some of them might be useful.
Is there nothing else in this spot?
The only thing about the room that's changed is that the lever is down now. Not very impressive.
The hands on the clock have stopped moving.
The clock may stop, but time goes on. No time to screw around. We need to figure out a way out of here.
Okay. I get it, Junpei. I really do.
These lockers are a little larger than the ones on top.
Let's see if there's anything useful in here. And no. Nothing.
Alright, cool. There's boxes.
It's a cardboard box with little papers. A couple of vertical lockers. There isn't anything useful there.
Clover.
Junpei? Thank you so much for everything.
Whoa, what's this all about?
And also, I'm sorry I messed up.
Hey, we can talk about this when we get you out, okay? Just hang on, Clover. I'll get you out of there right away.
Yay!
I think this is the first time I've actually seen a genuine smile out of this chick.
Ah, just check. Alright. Where the hell is this stupid thing? Because you're supposed to do... Oh, that drain.
I guess this is the drain for water, huh? Well, there's nothing here.
Okay, I guess I was wrong. Sink?
I wonder what they washed here. There are these weird colored stains all over the sink.
Power? No. No.
Maybe if you increase the voltage.
Hey, that's me.
Got him there.
Roger.
That's not me.
Will do. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to the max voltage!
Haha, max voltage.
Max voltage? Hey! Wait, Clover! Oh, shit.
She went max voltage on this thing.
High voltage.
What? I think, Oh gosh, this thing's gonna sit up like what Lotus was
This is
saying.
what happens when you go max voltage.
Ah!
Never go max voltage.
Oh my god! The mannequin's head!
Oh man, that sounds like a fire alarm. What the hell? Fire detected, fire detected.
Oh,
The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately.
Airguak says, first snake, now voltage, soon everyone will be in the game. Yeah, we've always seen Giggles in there a couple different times.
True.
Oh.
Alright, Clover, let's get the doors open.
Damn! The gate's still shut!
Oh, look,
Yikes.
this
Oh,
door's open now.
Junpei, look at the light.
yes, it's green! The emergency system has activated and disabled the lock.
Spoo reacted to my SM cat post.
Now we can save Clover!
Clover?
Junpei?
Come on, kid, jump! She's safe. Oh man, that smoke is some serious business. Time to close this door again, I think.
Okay.
Clover! Are you okay? Are you hurt?
Imaginary crouton.
Damn, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk. Maybe she's got a crouton in there too.
Of course I'm not alright! What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead!
Sorry. I was going as fast as I could.
You two can do this later. Right now, we need to get the hell out of here. That fire's not going to stay in that room forever.
Now we got a sinking ship and a ship on fire.
It's a
Hey, we
sinking
did it.
ship on
We
fire.
there is one little exposition bit I want to get done tonight, but we found it, and it'll be immediately after this, and then I think once things start popping back to beginnings, we can call it
Where
there.
is the real conspiracy in this? Is it that person thing on the table that's supposed to be the conspiracy?
Yeah, it's possible. Junpei,
shit.
Clover, and Lotus leapt out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them. All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding against his pounding in his chest, and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clear air, and with each one, he could feel his body begin to calm down.
Alright, let's go.
They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked. Soon, they had tried all of the doors, but one. The final door sat in a corner of the hallway. Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it open when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There was no doubt the voice belonged to...
June?
Jumpy!
He spun around. There, at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running toward him. 3 of them. June, Santa, and Seven. They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, gasping for air. Oh, by the way, Alex, if you want to do 7, you're more than welcome to. Because I didn't realize
sure.
it happened this soon, but anyway. Hey! What are you guys doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Guys, could you come over here?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. Yeah, it's my mom snapping me. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she had found. There was something on the wall at the end of the hallway.
A map of the ship's interior.
It said C deck in the upper left corner. Most likely, they assumed it was a map for the floor they were on. Door 7 and Door 8. The map confirmed what they already knew. Both doors eventually led to the hallway where they had found themselves. In fact...
Yeah, isn't that what I said? Till we find that 9 door, 0 ain't gonna split us up. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we can't open door 9. That's how the nonary game works.
Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior again. As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness. One by one, the others saw what he'd seen. As one, they all moved back towards the door, had only a moment ago been ready to open. He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke, without looking back at the other 5. Ready? I'm gonna open it. They nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were. They were just where the map had said they would be. The same room they had been in not so very long ago. The tremendous central hospital room, with empty beds from wall to wall. That's unfortunate.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying. The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory, and then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
He looked like anyone might, only after just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my show of altruism. I'm sure you'll be back for me. I did hope you would come back, but I confess I didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
7 smiled.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place. We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. Found it in the operating room. Here.
7 tossed something small and metallic toward Junpei. He caught it and found that the object was a key. It looks like a 4. On it, someone had engraved a symbol very similar to a 4. He looked over at June, who nodded back. We're almost there, guys. We're almost at the fun part. It had to be the Jupiter symbol.
I'm gonna let you hold on to that, all right?
Yeah, got it.
Junpei tucked the new key into his pocket. As a group, they now had 3 keys that had not been used. The Earth key, which had been found in the laboratory. The Saturn key card, which had been found in the kitchen. The Jupiter key, which 7 had just handed to Junpei. Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up.
Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of the long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then next to the stairs.
Wait.
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look. You saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. To the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
Oh, I'm gonna make a save state just because.
Good call.
There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Seven looked everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
You're right. I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once, yeah.
The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest, and my eye is looking funny. I think it's time I was up and about again. So, Seven, you'll help me, won't you?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. 4 + 1 + 7 is 12, and 1 + 2 is 3. It looked like 7 was doing them too. Last, he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
Moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and Seven would discover what lay beyond door 3. And what is behind door 3?
Okay, we're heading out.
Hey, Lotus. Whoever wants to take Lotus for a bit.
Oh, I can take Lotus since Mina, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
You're good.
I said the line. It's up to you.
I'll take it. Be careful.
Sorry. Whoa! Didn't think I'd be. What is?
Don't let it get to your... I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Truth comes out.
Seven nodded as if this answer made much more sense, and pulled the lever on the red. Down it goes. Why is Lotus always with Junpei? Snake Rattler wondered.
Okay, let's go.
The door opened and Ace, Clover, and Seven jumped through it. 6, 7, 8. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
All right, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Hey, June.
Get moving. Sorry, it was Lotus's picture, so
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
good.
Lotus's
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Where are we going? Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused.
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Cool.
I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
They were at the end of the hallway lined by individual hospital rooms. The Jupiter symbol was engraved on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei. Open it, if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock.
All right, ready, guys?
Junpei's companions nodded. He nodded back, then slowly and quietly opened the door. Inside was exactly what he expected to see from the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase. Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking
Yes, we
you-
did, Sean Connery.
We did show Sean Connery. I'm asking if there's any reason we came back here. Of course there is a reason, or no idea.
I'm sure there's a reason somewhere, Lotus.
What do you say, gang? Is there a reason?
Of course there's a reason.
There's
That's
always
what
They
I
wouldn't
would
give us the key if there's no point in using it.
Yeah.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
Huh?
This.
Junpei pulled two things out of his pockets. The Saturn key card and the Earth key. Santa cocked his head to one side, like an inquisitive bird, and looked at them. After several long moments, during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant, Junpei took pity on him.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind that stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think. So, the two keys that Jumpy has.
Should let us use the elevator and should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yeah. That's right.
June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa. All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into two teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you two can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. They decided that their initial search should be brief, only 10 minutes. They'd meet back near the staircase once they were done. Here we go.
Oh gosh.
Junpei and June headed for the elevators. Sure enough, there was a card reader bolted to the wall next to the left elevator. He lined up the Saturn key card and swiped it through the reader. A light on the upper left corner blinked to life.
Great. Looks like it's working now.
All right. Now, how do I call the elevator?
There was a single button to the right of the elevator door. Ah! On the button was the upside-down triangle, the universal symbol for down. There didn't appear to be an up button. Junpei pushed it. He didn't have much of a choice.
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
It's round. It opened. Look, Jumpy.
June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet, it opened. Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped toward the open door.
I mean, let's get going.
As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Wait.
What?
I'm not really. I just. Oh gosh.
Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of being locked up and alone with a boy, or they could only go down. We're picking this one. After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had been nervous about being locked in such a small space alone with a boy. In a way, it was kind of cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought.
This is too, there's
Junpei's
too
an
much
idiot.
arousal in this stream.
Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least, they didn't have to be.
Oh my god.
Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think how innocent she was.
Come on, let's go.
Stop.
Again,
No.
he stepped toward the elevator. And again, he felt himself restrained.
I said, wait a minute.
Why?
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
Well, I've never. You know.
She'd never been in an elevator with a man alone before?
Oh my god.
Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
What the?
What?
Nice.
Actually, just said that.
Down there.
Oh, I get it.
I'd get soaking wet because they're sinking.
Thinking. Oh, the game wanted to get.
Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works.
Oh my god.
I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
What about your mouth?
That's true.
Oh my god.
You don't mind
Mind what?
getting wet?
Well, did you pick this on purpose?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave.
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? If you get the chance, you've just gotta go for it.
Oh my gosh, no.
That's what a man's supposed to do, I guess.
You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
Yeah, but don't worry. I'll take care of you.
Oh gosh,
God.
stop it.
I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll be able to last very long, and then it'll be over. No.
Over?
Yeah. I'll go to heaven.
Heaven?
It feels kind of like you're floating in space, and your mind gets all fuzzy, like when you pass out.
No.
At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Such a weird comparison.
Although, I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. I mean, generally.
Oh my god.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it eventually.
What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Was that really how it happened? It occurred to Junpei that perhaps that was how it worked. Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years.
Oh my god.
Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. June seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror.
I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would get into your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore, and you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out. Huh?
Finally,
Lord.
Junpei
Oh.
understood. He understood what June was trying to say, and why she was so scared.
Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long.
See?
She was afraid that the elevator... She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. That meant,
God
of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on A or B decks near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to go to the lower decks. And the floor below them, below the one they were on, D deck, should be completely submerged. That meant...
Sorry. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise, like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, take a look inside.
Junpei jerked his head toward the interior of the elevator.
It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
Oh, you're right, they are.
She looked around the elevator, slightly embarrassed.
Well, let's test it.
Test it?
Yeah. Watch this.
Junpei put one foot in the elevator and bent around the corner of the door until he could see the floor buttons. There were only two, E and C. He pushed the E button and jumped out of the elevator. The door slid shut, and then they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. Goodbye, elevator.
Goodbye, Voltage, says the elevator.
A few moments later, they heard the sound of the elevator door grinding open several floors down. Junpei nodded to June and pressed the elevator button again. A few moments later, the elevator returned. Hello, elevator.
Hello, elevator. I mean, Voltage, says the elevator.
The door slid open, and just as Junpei had expected, there was no water to be found.
See?
Junpei couldn't resist puffing out his chest just a little bit. June, however, still looked confused.
What does that mean? How can the E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured. Here, let me show you.
He pulled out his notebook and pen and sketched a rough illustration.
I see. So is that why this ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it from all filling with water?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Junpei continued talking as he closed the notebook and slipped it back into his pocket.
So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, alright?
But...
But...
Come on, just do it, alright?
He gave June's shoulder a reassuring squeeze, then hopped into the elevator. He pushed the E button, and the door began to close. June looked worried, her eyes darting back and forth, as if she was trying to make a decision when suddenly...
I'm coming with you.
Huh?
At the last possible moment, June dashed forward, turning sideways just in time to slip through the gap between the closing doors. Junpei jammed his finger against the open button, but it was too late. The door had shut. He and June were in the elevator, just as he'd planned, and it was headed down to E deck. And what's an E deck? He was so surprised by June that he didn't even have time to think about what awaited him on the E deck. The elevator stopped, and the door slid open. They stepped off onto the floor outside the elevator. Nothing seemed especially unusual. No fish going about their fishy business, or jellyfish floating lazily through the water. There was, however, a blowfish. Or at least something that looked very much like one. June's cheeks were puffed out, and her tiny mouth was a tiny, intense frown.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June looked around nervously, then
Huh?
exhaled.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
See?
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's going to happen if the ceiling breaks?
Junpei thought about that for a moment.
Well, we'd probably get really wet up there.
Huh?
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can once we're done looking around. Down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
Good idea.
Junpei glanced around the room they'd found themselves in. The first thing he noticed was a set of thick iron bars. They ran the length of the room, separating the left elevator from the right one.
Well, we can't go over there.
Right.
Then perhaps, in the corner of the room that housed the elevators, Junpei found an opening. He walked up to it and stuck his head around the corner. Oh, a long, straight hallway stretched out in front of him.
That door at the end of the hallway. There's something written on it.
Yeah, let's go have a look.
Junpei and June set off down the hallway at a brisk clip, somewhere between a run and a jog. Before long, they found themselves in front of the door. On it was a number written in bright red paint. 6.
I knew it.
This is a numbered door.
And indeed, there was a red bolted onto the wall right next to the door. Of course, with only 2 people, there wasn't much they could do with it.
All right, let's head back.
Yeah.
Junpei and June turned and headed back to C deck. C deck. On their way, Junpei noticed a map on the wall. As it turned out, it was a burnt map of the ship's interior for E deck. Got a map. It's pretty cool.
It's the map.
Huh?
It's the map. It's the map.
So you guys found door 1?
They'd met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Apparently, there was another numbered door on A deck, just like the one on E deck, beyond the door that the Earth key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door. All told, they had discovered 2 new doors, the 6 door and the 1 door. Hey, Lotus.
It is interesting that the E deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
Well, we don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area around
Sorry.
the elevator.
Even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6 door was there, right?
Yes.
Then that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have to mean... that would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Hey, June.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure. It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself, and Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing.
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large, pleading eyes.
Yeah, you're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I would be able to open door 1.
Huh? You guys leaving me behind? 8 plus 6 plus 5 is 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. And 1 plus 0 is 1.
Just kidding. All right, let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the large hospital room they went. Opening the doors. The moment they stepped inside, a tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was 7. Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back. It looked as though there was something strange about them. 7 had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments away from passing out entirely. For a long moment, they simply stood there, looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. He looked at 7.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
7 was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him hard. His shoulders were trembling, and his voice was strained.
Snake is.
7 couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by. Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is dead. He died just as the ninth man did.
Oh no!
It was as if all of the air had
No
suddenly
more
been sucked out of
lines.
the room. Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken, and he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beating on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All three of them were frozen in place, their faces white.
Oh my god. That's not true. Is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, alright. We should.
They nodded to one another and headed for the 3-door.
Wait! Not that way!
They stopped short and turned to look at 7. He was pointing at the door with no number.
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
The shower room on the left side of the hallway. I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
You can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Their new destination clear, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Once in the hallway, it was easy to spot the metal door on the left wall. It hadn't been opened when they'd been through it before. But now, just as 7 said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open. They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Ugh, it smells horrible.
Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut. Yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke. It was just as bad as they said. Perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach. He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was in his stomach where it belonged. They didn't have to wonder where the body was. There was blood everywhere, a few arms of the splatter reaching toward them as they walked in through the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider.
June, you should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder as if to shove her into the ground like a tent pole, turned, and walked toward the end of the divider. It felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually, they reached the divider. They looked at one another and nodded. Slowly, Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment, he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew that in that instant, that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh, torn from the body, sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea.
No.
A vast, ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it. Just like I said. Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was holding down some vomit of his own. Just like the ninth man said. Detonator in his brains has set off the bomb in his gut. It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay beside next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces. Half of his head simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with yellow piping, and the gray slacks. They were all familiar to Junpei.
No mistake about that. It's Snake.
Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of her bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered. Chances are he was killed the same way.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn, and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out, is it?
Bless you.
First, the killers got to Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone. They waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was over for Snake, but he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. There's a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonators only deactivated if everybody who authenticated it when they went in uses the dead. And then 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Exactly. That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd have been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer.
Hey, Giggles, you want
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say one of us is a killer so casually?
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know.
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and a loser. Whoever makes it through the 9 door is a winner, and those who don't are losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero was trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then, does that mean that the person who killed Snake?
Yes, almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Junpei hadn't really considered that. If Zero had killed Snake, then Zero was on the ship with them. Was Zero still on the ship with them?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I'd say of course.
Of course he was. That was obvious. Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. Junpei mumbled to himself, lost in thought.
Where could Zero be hiding?
Suddenly, everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crossing across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghostly moaning noise, and moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was cold, monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer. But who? Junpei said,
That's crazy. That's crazy! Isn't this ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger! Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive!
Clover looked up at Junpei, and her face fell.
You don't believe me.
Her eyes were so pitiful. The moment Junpei met them, he felt his heart tighten. He didn't think what he said was wrong, but perhaps the way he'd said it had been. He'd been too insensitive. Clover had just lost her brother. His death would have been bad enough, but she'd also seen the blasted wreck of his body. Junpei barely knew him, and the sight had been enough to make him sick. What Clover had felt, he couldn't begin to imagine. In the mental state she must have been in, it was understandable that she would look at those around her with suspicion. She felt everyone was against her. The least Junpei could have done was try to understand what she was feeling. He felt ashamed of what he had said. Perhaps he thought, I should apologize. But before that apology could begin,
Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel that you can trust any of us.
Ace had beaten Junpei to the punch. As he spoke to Clover, his face was calm and friendly.
But you have to understand, the more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did those horrible things to your brother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who would do such a horrible thing?
Clover didn't answer. She didn't even look at Ace. The whole time, her eyes were on Junpei. He could feel Clover's eyes boring into him. They were the color of a deep winter lake. Junpei saw no suspicion in them, only sadness. Then, in that horrible silence, they heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. Hey Alex, do you want to take Santa? Because I realize I'm reading for Ace. So you could have him if you want him. Or you could take, I don't know, you can read for him if you like.
Sure.
Just do your best.
3 in the morning.
Yeah, perfect.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move, now. 7, Clover, I know how you feel, but you do understand that. Right now, it's important that we trust one another, don't you?
7 and Clover remained silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going. Their next destination was Mercury. It sat, bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen, between the 2 elevators. The Mercury card reader. Junpei stood in front of it, with the Mercury keycard. 7 had given him the card.
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
At least, that's what he'd said. Junpei slid the card through the reader. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise. Now they were ready. Junpei and June had been chosen as the investigators. The reasoning being that they had been to Edek before and no one else had. As before, Junpei sent the elevator ahead to make sure the floor they were heading to wasn't flooded. As before, the elevator returned dry as when it had left. Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator. Hello, elevator.
Hello, Voltage, said the elevator.
There were only 2 floor buttons they could push, the C and bottom buttons. The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed. Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly, they began to move downward. Sometime later, Junpei and June stepped off the elevator and onto the bottom deck. They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end.
This is a numbered door.
This is the 8th one we found.
There were 2 numbered doors on B deck, near the central staircase. They were doors 4 and 5. There were 3 more numbered doors in the large hospital room, doors 3, 7, and 8. Junpei and June had found another door on E deck, and Lotus and Santa had found a 7th on A deck. There was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck. 4, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6, 1. And now door 2 stood in front of Junpei. There was only one thing it meant.
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well. He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June.
All right, let's open these up.
These pieces of paper they'd folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. There were 7 of them, all told. They were written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook. Each one bore a code name and a door. Why had they decided to vote that way? They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors. Well, that wasn't the only reason. Junpei had proposed the voting system, and he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper. The first one read,
Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
Okay then.
He opened the second one.
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1. Lotus wants 2. And 7 also wants 2.
Oh, wait a minute. There's no way I'm going anywhere with the elephant man.
Holy shit.
No. There'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
I'm not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes. What's an exhibitionist?
Barely.
We'll explain it after the stream, Giggles.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Giggles. Whoops.
So? Last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe, but what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked racist.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh.
Oh.
Foreshadowing.
Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry lion, and she roared with a voice that shook the walls. With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
All right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the 6th piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Yes. I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All of the papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head. People who requested door 1 were Ace and Clover. This was the door on A deck near the central staircase. People who requested door 2, 7, were 7 and Lotus. This was the door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship. People who requested door 6 were Santa and June. This was the door on E deck and could be reached by taking the elevator near the central staircase down. Staircase. It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through.
Ah, and here we are! We're at the point where I'm making a save state for the evening!
If he picks it.
Because we get to pick the next place we get to go! So once again...
His whole plan.
It was all part of my plan all along! So,
Oh shit.
for the third week in a row...
before it floods.
For the 3rd week in a row, we'll have, if you're in the Discord, you can help decide which door we go through. You'll just react to the post that's 1, 2, or 6. Now, this is actually a phenomenal point to stop, though, just because, holy crap. Talk about mood whiplash, am I right?
Yeah, for real.
And no more lines, though. I'm sad. I mean, I knew it happened.
Yeah.
I knew it.
It's a killing game. But I will say, the elevator scene is a top 3 moment in the entire game. It is
Oh my god,
so
that
good.
was so
Oh,
so stupid.
I know.
And
no. Please,
Cry,
no.
you and Mina did a wonderful job executing it, especially because you caught on to the subtext right away and then just fucking ran with it.
No, both of them were
Just
so
imagining
good.
it's
Mina
like,
ran
oh,
with
man.
the comedy, and Chris knew that it was comedic, so he played it straight. That was really masterful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
It was
just
really
imagine
good.
they get to the end of this game and they realize, oh no, we needed an extra 15 minutes. If only we hadn't been talking to each other for 15 minutes.
We hadn't been making innuendos the whole time. Anyway, we are going to raid Shelby tonight because she is streaming as per usual, and she has a new username because it's one of my friends who is streaming, and like, you know, you gotta support your friends that way. So we're gonna raid Starry X Marie. Any ideas for the raid message?
Have you been in an elevator alone with a boy before? Something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Getting wet down there.
have you been in an elevator alone with a boy before? All right. This might be. Make sure when you post it, by the way, that you make it clear that that's like a reference to this game. By the way. And
So put it in quote.
yeah, actually, yeah, put it in quotes. Here, I'll even do it for you. Oh shoot. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So with that, I want to thank all of you for showing up tonight. Again, thanks to the cast for participating, doing a phenomenal job, listening to me describe gore. It was great. Had a wonderful time doing it. And we'll see you all next. Maybe this weekend. For PMD. Anyway, until then, catch you around.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.